the period that's causing you to make you want to give up. See, the devil has one mission only, is to rob you of your destiny. If you quit whatever you're trying to accomplish, if you quit, whatever you were trying to accomplish can never happen.
This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're going to be typing a celebrity. We haven't done one in fucking forever, I feel like. We're going to be doing Steve Harvey. He's all over the news for being cheated on by his wife. So we're going to figure out Steve Harvey's personality type using Linda Barrens Interaction styles and temperament combined with cognitive functions. And we're going to break it down as we go. The monkeys over at Personality Database have Steve Harvey as ESFJ. We have our handy dandy chart over here. If he lines up with ESFJ, that means he's informative, he's initiating, he's systematic, he's concrete, he's TIFE and SINE. And affiliative, we'll call him ESFJ. We have no problem calling that. But if he's not, then we'll call him clowns like we always do. But you guys know we're still doing free type sessions by us. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and join our Facebook group or Discord. Highly recommend more of the Facebook group because it's more active. But message our moderator on both, Cody, and he'll sit you down with a date. We're going to go over and we're going to see what we get here, you know. And comment below what you think Steve Harvey's personality type is. He's a very interesting guy. All I can tell you right there is that shit was abstract, okay? But these are our metrics here. We have initiative versus respondent, abstract versus concrete, systematic versus interest, direct versus informative, pragmatic versus affiliative, outcome versus progression, SE versus SINE, TE and FI versus TIFE. Okay, those are the metrics. When we get 5 of them, we'll go ahead and put them down as the point for him. Let's see what we get here. I feel bad for the guy. Okay. Let's see what we get.
The second one, need another drink.
One of the most recognized and beloved global entertainers in the world. One of the most powerful voices in media. He's an Emmy Award-winning TV personality and talk show host. Yeah. New York Times best-selling author. Mm-hmm. National Association of Broadcaster Hall of Fame.
I want to first say, what the fuck does Steve Harvey have on here? I don't know what the fuck kind of clothes that is. Steve Harvey, what you got on? I know people make jokes about you wearing those Steve Harvey suits.
But he has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a comedy legend, top-rated radio personality, popular game show and TV host, producer, actor, writer, fashion entrepreneur, media mogul, investor, motivational speaker, innovative business leader, active humanitarian and global philanthropist, a true Renaissance man, none other than the great Steve Harvey. Steve,
all that. Best intro I've ever had.
Did I leave anything off?
I probably did, but don't worry about
it. The card only so big, Steve. The card only so big.
I know we're out of time.
How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm good. First of all, let me say this, man. I don't do a lot of podcasts.
Mm-hmm. All right, so he just initiated that. I don't want him for initiating. Okay, he just got him right then and there. Let me tell you something. He went right into it. Okay, let's go back. I'm going to let you guys catch that.
I don't do a lot of podcasts. I've only done all that. Best intro I've ever had.
Did I leave anything off?
I probably did, but don't worry about
it. The card only so big, Steve. The card only so big.
I know we're out of time.
How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm good. First of all, let me say this, man.
He initiated first.
I don't do a lot of podcasts. I've only done a few. But when you called, man, I had to do it because of all the people on television, your commentary, you're the one dude that thinks just like me. You ain't probably said nothing I ain't disagreed with. Nothing. I like your honesty, your forwardness, man, that country-ass baritone, that you be mispronouncing words. It's me, you, and Perkins. Me, you, and Perkins ought to have a podcast. Talking about, they said it.
Steve,
He initiated. You hear another
one. I know you know health is wealth and you're doing the right thing. But would you grace me and have a drink with me? This is my own cognac.
I actually do that. Don't worry about that. Pour that in there. I drank a little bit of yak.
A little bit?
Yeah, I ain't gonna be drunk.
No. We're not gonna be drunk. No, we're not gonna be.
Yeah, I ain't never been drunk before in my life, man.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I've never had more than one drink.
That's a good thing too.
My brother.
To all the success.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. We're gonna send you here. We're gonna send you away with a bottle of this.
Oh, that's smooth. Yeah, all we need now is a cigar. Yeah, that's all right.
I appreciate it.
No, that's pretty good, man.
So how have you been?
Man, I'm good, working on my health, man, most important thing right now. I'm good, man. I really can't, I've entered a new phase.
Okay.
I was out the country recently, and I was, kept talking to God about these deals, and we get right to the edge and we almost get there, something would happen. Then we'd almost get to another one and something would happen. And then I just figured it out, man. God said, I want you to go home. And I came back out the country and I just went home. He said, I know you're asking me for a lot of stuff, but I want you to just take a minute and look at everything I done gave you. Look at everything I done done for you. Now just let me know you all right, and then we'll go from there.
Right.
But I had to come home, man, for the past couple months and just look at all he done for me. I'm good.
So you were thinking that because the deals weren't happening, God revealed to you, you need to go home and be thankful for what I've already given you instead of what you don't have right now.
Because my focus was in what I was trying to make happen. And I was losing sight.
Trying to make happen, that's going to be SE and NI. It's more the NI perspective. And this guy is coming off interest, talking about what he didn't have, okay?
Of what had already happened.
Right.
And if you want more, you got to be grateful for what you have. But I was so busy wanting the more,
right.
I forgot to focus and take a look
Talking about wanting more, that's going to be NI. NI people always know what they want. They actually know where they're going in life. They have a path that they're looking to go upon. They know their own future, and SE is all about like what other people are doing. We talked about this in a very descriptive video, so check out our video of us breaking down the actual cognitive functions. We actually broke down SE and NI. In the future, we will be going over like initiating interest and stuff like that in its own video. But yeah, he's coming off initiating SE and I and interest. So we're possibly looking at ESTP, ESFP, ENFJ, and that's pretty much it.
What he'd already done.
Right.
I came home, man. I went home, sat around my house for a while, went down to my ranch, did some fishing. I looked at all that space and stuff, and all of a sudden I realized, I said, man, I'm really good.
Right.
I forgot. Okay, God, I see what you were saying.
Right.
Yeah, he'll give you some more. But would you mind,
what you have.
Would you just please be a little bit appreciative of what I know already done?
You mentioned your health as well, and I see you, I follow you, and I see you exercising, I see you eating right. What was the turning point that you said, you know what, I'm healthy, but I believe I can do better. I can be more healthy.
Well, man, I had a couple of health issues, man, that I discovered. I'm 66, man, so I got to looking around, man, and I had high blood. I had this thing called Sjogren's, which is an immune disorder.
Okay.
I get my blood work done about 4 times a year.
Okay.
But white blood count was low, couldn't get it up, and then I was struggling with sleep apnea.
Okay.
I was waking up in the middle of the night. I had all this going on, man, and I said, wait a minute, man, hold up. I got to do something. So I went to this company, man, and I found this brother who was one of the top nutritional scientists ever come out of Harvard, named John Lyons.
Okay.
And I went to him and I said, hey, man, I found out that drinking green drinks is really good for you.
Right.
But I just can't gag it down every morning. You know what I'm saying? Kale, like, Shannon, I don't really understand kale.
It's awful.
It's not in the Bible. It's not, kale is for four-legged animals only. You gotta have short, square teeth that's blocked at the top, because you gotta get that kale in your mouth and work with it.
Yeah.
You gotta have extra.
Yeah.
And I just gagging it down every morning. I said, hey man, can y'all come up with a green drink for me that tastes good? And so we formulated about a year and a half. It did a lot of tests, and finally we came up with this product called the Elevate You, this delicious green drink, and I started taking it.
Okay.
I started feeling better, and it actually gave me more energy. So then I was able to get in that gym, and I could start addressing some of these real issues. And right now, man, I'm getting there, man.
You said that you were struggling sleeping. Was it because you have a hard time? Because I think people that are successful really have a hard time turning their mind off. They constantly thinking. They constantly like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And so the mind is constantly focused. It never relaxes, so you can't sleep.
That's exactly right. That's exactly it. And the whole thing is you got to turn your mind off.
Yes.
You know, they come up with stuff like melatonin or something like that, and then they got a little thing called LDN and all this here. But really, man, when you hustling and grinding, that's a cost for everything.
Correct.
You know, you don't get to where we are, people like this. You don't get here free.
Right.
This come with a cost.
Right.
That's why you don't get here free. Come on, there's interest. God damn it, Steve Harvey.
It's gonna cost you a lot of free time. It's gonna cost you a lot of your time. And that's just it. You know, people, they got mad at me one time because I dropped a video where I was talking about if you want to get rich, you can't sleep 8 hours.
Right.
And then here come all the haters online talking about Steve Harvey prefers wealth over health. No, I don't. I would give anything to be fully healthy.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're trying to get it and talking about and really have it, you got to lock and load, man.
Right.
You ain't 8 hours. If you sleep.
Statement. Okay, so TI statements. I've seen a lot of people in the community actually struggle with this TI statements. So generally speaking, they're going to be referring to a logical framework by saying, if this, then that. Okay, now let's go back and listen to what Steve Harvey just said. That was a TI statement there. And people who are TI, they're going to be more prone to saying
that's just it. You know, people, they got mad at me one time because I dropped a video where I was talking about if you want to get rich, you can't sleep 8 hours.
Right.
And then here come all the haters online talking about Steve Harvey prefers wealth over health. No, I don't. I would give anything to be fully healthy.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're trying to
so you're gonna
get it and talking about and really have it, you got to lock and load, man.
Then you got to lock and load.
Right.
You ain't if you sleep 8 hours, you sleep a third of your life. 1/3 of your life is spent sleep. Now you tell me.
That's the outcome as well. If you sleep 1/3 of your life, he's coming off outcome focus. TIFE. Oh my God.
How you gonna get successful in the United States of America and you sleep 1/3 of your life? Help me understand that, how that's possible. Then they come, well, Oprah sleep. Oprah billionaire.
Right. But Oprah didn't sleep like that, trying to accumulate that. She could sleep recently. She probably sleep 20 hours a day now.
She can stay asleep.
She can be real Van Winkle.
No, she ain't got to wake up for. Oprah can lay that probably about 4 or 5 years. Wake up, still have plenty of money.
Right.
I sleep 4 or 5 years, man. I got to start over.
All right, man. This guy's the interest.
You from a small town in West Virginia.
Yeah.
What was life like growing up in that small town? How long did you stay there?
Until I was 5.
Okay, so you didn't spend a whole lot of time there.
Notice the difference between someone who's interest and systematic. We're not getting words like implementation. We're not talking about metrics. We're not talking about methods. Steve Harvey isn't saying any of that. So those are the two metrics: systematic interest. He's more about interest. What do you get out of
Then you moved to Cleveland. So most of your formative years, what you remember is in Cleveland, correct?
Right, but that farm, because every summer I had to go back.
Oh, okay.
And work the farm with my uncle and grandfather.
Okay.
And he's coming off direct, so.
We had raised 2 hogs.
Right.
And we killed them in the fall.
Right.
So we had to go back. And in the summer, I had to go work all the crops because that's what we ate, because my daddy was a construction worker.
Right.
So my father couldn't work in the wintertime.
Right.
So we had to go down here and kill these 2 hogs and get all these crops from the summer. You know, put them in the salt houses and all like this.
Yes.
And that was work, man. You had to work. So I really learned a lot growing up in the country, but then I was a city boy too, so I had the best of both worlds, man. You know, I ain't flush a toilet till I was 5 years old. I ain't know what that was.
Right.
I ain't know they had. I ain't know you could cut your faucet on in your house.
Right.
You know, so I learned a lot. I was poor, but I didn't really know it.
Because everybody around you was poor.
Everybody went to the bathroom outside.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody had no water faucet.
No. Well water.
Even the white people.
See, you know what? See, that's why I think kind of like when you say that you and I share a lot of the same ideas, because I grew up in rural South Georgia.
Yeah.
And I didn't really take a shower in a house until I was in the NFL. I was 21. Really? 22.
That's FE there, trying to make a connection. Both these guys are FE fucking users.
Yeah. We had no indoor plumbing, no running water. We drank well water. I went outside the first 20 years. I didn't know what it was like to use a bathroom inside.
See, that's what people don't
But
understand that.
you 66, right?
Yeah.
I'll be 55 in June.
Yeah.
This was the 80s. This wasn't 1960. This wasn't 1950, 1940. This was the 80s. Until my brother purchased my grandmother's house in September of 1988 was the first time I actually used the bathroom in someone's house. Other than that, I went outside.
See, the average person don't even.
No.
They can't understand. Like I talk to a lot of young people.
Right.
And they say, man, like my sons, Dad, you saw everything get invented. Yeah, color TV. Mm-hmm. You know, we had color TV. The one dude had color TV on our street. We all went around his house just to see color TV.
Right.
It was 13 inches, about 25 people be packed in there, you know, trying to watch his damn TV. I saw cell phones get invented.
Right.
So, you know, the internet, I saw all that, man. So it gives you a different appreciation, I think.
You said that you had a speech impediment when you were growing up, and that you had a teacher that said you weren't going to make it because you stuttered.
Yeah.
And there's someone in your community, someone in the deli that says, slow down, say what you want to, take 3, and then start over again. How did that make you feel when you she crushed I'm a kid and she already crushing my dream.
She a teacher.
Yes, she's supposed to lift you.
This dream killing heifer. I said, what kind of, I said in front of class, because we had to write an assignment, what you want to be when you grow up.
Okay.
The first day of school.
Right.
6th grade. And I write,
Let's see if he knows what he wants to be.
Be on TV. She called everybody name, had them.
Okay, so you know he wants to be on TV. And
stand up, then she made me come to the front. I go to the front, I think I'm finna get a gold star. I got the best answer in here.
Right.
Because I knew all my answers was better. Because Lonnie Cage had wrote on his paper, he wanted to be a doctor. His ass couldn't even read in the reading group. So I don't know how Lonnie gonna be no damn doctor. This has got to be. So at least I wrote something that had a chance of happening. Lonnie ass got about a bigger chance of being a doctor as I got of walking my ass to the moon by Friday.
This motherfucker.
So when she called me up there, man, and she said, why did you write this on your paper? And I said, because that was our assignment for today.
Right.
And then I had a little stuttering problem, so I was stuttering a little bit. And she said, who do you know on TV in this neighborhood? And so I started, by the tone of her voice, I could tell that this wasn't going the way this wasn't for a bold gold star moment.
Yeah.
This heifer trying to break me in front of these kids.
Right.
And she was doing a damn good job of it
Right.
too. She was crushing me.
Okay.
Who in this neighborhood ever been on TV? Who in your family ever been on TV? Who in this school been on TV? And what make you think you can be on TV? And look at you standing there, you can't even talk. Then you write something more reasonable on your paper. She crushed me, man. I said, damn, this is a teacher.
Right.
This is in the 68, man.
Right.
I'm sitting there looking at this lady like, God, dog. But I kept my paper and took it home.
Right.
And my mama said, your daddy gonna beat you when you get home for being a smart aleck. Because she'd call home and said, your child is a smart aleck.
Right.
Because I wanted to be on TV. Everybody else, basketball player, football player.
Right.
I don't like tackle.
To be on TV, and he's an NI user.
Right.
I ain't like it. You know, you throw me on the ground, I want to fight. I ain't good at this.
Right.
So when my father came home, she said, Slick, this boy been a smart aleck up at the school. And he said, well, what'd you do? I said, I wrote on the paper, I want to be on TV. My father said, well, what's wrong with that? And I saw a little glimmer of hope because I wasn't going to get this ass whooping I thought I was going to get. He said, well, your boy can be whatever he want to be. And it was like I thought I was finna get executed,
right.
you know. Because when my daddy came home, it was time for that. He was the executioner.
Right.
My mama was a judge. She handed down the sentence. My daddy was the executioner at the house. So I'm finna get executed. And being when he said that, the red phone rang from the governor's office.
You got a reprieve.
That was a reprieve. And he said, "You don't worry about that. You keep that paper and you read your paper every morning, every night." And I did that. I kept that paper till I was about 27 years old. Damn. And then I got in comedy at 27. I didn't get on TV till I was 38 years old.
Oof.
Wow.
So in school, were you a good student in school?
Over all of that, like so there's progression people and there's outcome people. You see how you just like skipped all over that shit and didn't give us the journey or anything. So yeah, this guy's coming off outcome focus.
Ooh. I don't know.
You paused too long when that was.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out I was there. I had perfect attendance. Because missing school I would get murdered.
Right.
My father, they didn't play that.
But you had to work. If you missed school, they put you in the field. You wasn't sick. You couldn't stay home because you were sick. You had to work.
Sick?
Yeah, you had to work.
What do you mean you sick? Get your ass up to school and learn yourself something.
Right.
I couldn't be sick.
Right.
Went to school, wasn't a good student, man, because I just wasn't interested.
Right.
Man.
Were you a class clown?
Not at all. Not at
so
all.
Because a lot of times, Steve, you know how it is. They call it bullying. We call it picking. Oh, he picking at such and such. Did kids pick at you because you had this speech problem?
I had a stuttering problem. You can't have a stuttering problem at no public school in Cleveland. Oh, man. And then big lip boy with some stuttering problem. I come in the room and they have my silhouette on the chalkboard. They have my nose and then my lips would go all the way to the other end of the chalkboard. And they say, "Steve, guess who that is?" I know who the hell it is. And you know, and then they talk to me and they go, look, listen, t. So I took a speech impediment, a speech therapist came.
Right.
And that's when I knew I was in trouble, because speech therapists, for people who stutter, they've never stuttered, so they can't fix a stutter. Right. So they give you these dumbass
the drills?
Yeah. Avoid words with PR in it.
Right.
Avoid words with ST in it. My name's Steve. Lady, where we going with this now? So now I gotta avoid my own damn name.
Right.
Now I'm sitting here, man, trying to.
What's your name?
And man, it was just a disaster, man. I got picked on a lot, and then, but that's why I started my wit at, because I had to develop comeback.
Yeah, you had to get them
because
up
I
off
was
you.
the target all day.
Right.
And so when we went to the basketball court, and that's the one game I could play was hoops.
Right.
Because I had hops. I was real thin, but Lord have mercy, I could fly.
Okay.
But I would go to the court and stand behind the chain link fence. And I'd be talking so much trash, I would put my lips up against the chain link fence and nothing be out there on the court but my lips. And I'd be talking much trash, man.
Right.
And everybody be dying laughing. And
he's not recanting like his own, like he's recanting like outside memories. Like it's not his own experience, it's just like other people, everything like that is SENI user.
When I learned my first lesson of how to study the room. I was talking about this dude so bad one time, he got tired of me. And he said, "Hey, little man, keep on. I'm gonna hurt you." But it was some girls watching.
You can't let it go now, Steve.
So now I got to go hard.
Yeah.
So now I'm pressed up against the fence. Now I don't see he done looped round. I'm watching the game, I'm looking for him, I don't see him. I didn't know he had looped round behind me. When I realized where he had his whole hand against the back of my head. He was pushing my eyes and everything.
Everything was through the fence.
Oh, that dude was hamming me, boy. He got me good. And that's when I first learned, okay, you got to learn how to read the room.
Right.
Because all these jokes. And that was the beginning of it, was talking trash.
Right. So you're in Cleveland, you're going back, but you're basically the majority of your years is in Cleveland. What was it about Cleveland that helped shape young Steve into what we see?
Cleveland hard, man. Cleveland hard. You've been to Cleveland.
I have.
It ain't nothing kind. Cleveland is a tough city.
Right.
If you come out of Cleveland, it's like coming out of Detroit. If you come out of Cleveland, you can make it.
Right.
You look at the dudes like Arsenio Hall,
right.
Drew Carey, cats like that, come from Cleveland, man. Arsenio's daddy was a minister over there because he went to John Adams, I went to Glenville. We both went to Kent State.
Okay.
And it's just a hard place, man. It was a lot of gangs, but it wasn't gangs like today. Everybody was in a gang because we had to cover each other when we walked to school.
Right.
So we was, the Jets. And we had to cross Pee Wee Marquis, the Delamore's, the Devil Disciples, Lord Noble Prophets. We had to cross their territory to go to school.
Right.
So it was a track meet.
Right.
All the way to school and all the way back. And you had to have your dudes with you. And then, we ride our bikes down to Edgewater Park and fight on Saturdays at the church parking lot. You bring 6, I'm gonna bring 6. Now, if you bring 6, you stupid. Because I'm gonna bring 9. Whatever the agreed number was.
It ain't gonna be that.
I padded it.
Right.
We go down there, so everybody in my neighborhood had hands.
Right.
We threw hands, man. Everybody could box. That's what got me in Golden Gloves, all like that. And it was just my father's rigid upbringing, man, about manhood. Do what you say you're gonna do. Be honorable, be tough, and never quit. And then my mama was a Sunday school teacher.
Okay.
So that combination of faith and my daddy's work ethic and manhood combined, my mama was never pray, boy, pray.
Right.
Go to church. Love the Lord ain't gonna leave you. That my mama just ingrained.
Did you understand that what she was saying when you were that young? Because a lot of times you don't realize what they're saying is so impactful until you're much, much older and they're gone.
Of course not. I didn't get it. I thought all this going to church, why are we in here?
Right.
Monday night prayer meeting, Tuesday night Bible study, Wednesday night crowd.
Practice.
What we doing? I got so sick of, I was so sick of going to church. I asked my big brother one time, I said, hey man, let me ask you something. How hot is hell? Because if he could have gave me a number that I could work with, like 126, I was just gonna go to hell.
Right.
Because, dog, I ain't on the sports teams or nothing because I'm at church all the time.
Right.
But I didn't get it. I didn't really get it until I was homeless. I didn't really get it. And everything she said to me, I heard it over and over and over and over and over. But as you write, as a child, nah, man, I didn't get it. I ain't see it.
You say you went to Kent State. Why did you go? You said about the guy that was saying that he wanted to be a doctor. You had told me that you weren't a good student.
No.
Why would you go to college if you're not a good student?
Hey man, tell you the truth, my best friend, Ricardo, I heard he was going to Kent State. I didn't even apply for college. But see, Kent was where they had killed the 4 kids.
Right.
The National Guard.
Yeah.
So a lot of blacks quit going to college down there.
Right.
So they had this thing called Cleveland Scholarship Program that would give you free room and board if you went to Kent State. So he had signed up for that program. So when I found out he was going, I had no ambition.
So that's finding out what somebody else is doing, and now he knows what he wants. We're going to go ahead and hit him for SENI. He's an SENI user. For sure. He's also initiating. He's extroverted. Steve Harvey's extroverted. Okay. He is direct as well. So he's direct. So ESFJ is already eliminated. And he is SENI. So we're down to literally 2 types right now. We're down to direct, initiating, SENI. Actually 3 types. 3 types. We're looking at ESTP. Okay, we're looking at ESTP. We're looking at ENTJ, which I don't think he's an ENTJ because he's not hitting enough. Name drops, FI, anything like that. He's really not hitting that. But we still got it open. So we're down to ESTP, ENTJ, and ENFJ for Steve Harvey. Knowing this guy's abstract, I know he's abstract.
Of going to college.
Looking like he's an ENFJ.
It never crossed my mind. I was gonna work construction with my daddy, just like my 2 brothers. That's why I was gonna be a construction worker.
Right.
And every summer, when I was in high school, I worked construction with my daddy. That's when I knew this ain't for me. No, I got to do something else.
That's hard work.
Boy, this standing out on this bridge.
It's hot.
With a hot tar mop in my hand. I said, no, I'm going to go to college. But I went there. I didn't have no study habits or nothing. Man.
Right.
Because I had worked all through high school, at Pick and Pay and grocery stores and stuff like that. I had a bike. And when I was a senior, man, I had enough credits where I was through with school at 12 o'clock.
Right.
At 1 o'clock, I was on my job.
Well, dang, how you done? Because I wasn't done with my college. I wasn't done with high school at 12 o'clock. I ain't having no credit. And I was an okay student. I wasn't great. But you did enough. You did so. You applied. You didn't apply yourself. You were a good student. You didn't apply yourself, did you?
I was a better criminal. You talking about cheating. Boy, I knew who to set next to. We had systems.
Right.
I'm going to graduate.
Right.
Because we had systems.
Right.
You know, we was getting tests.
System work. Okay.
I was doing everything. I ain't going to lie to you. I did everything, man, just to graduate. So I had plenty of credits.
Right.
Wasn't no A's or nothing like that. The only A I ever got was in gym, physical. I got straight A's in gym.
Right.
Because I love anything to do with that. But
right.
I got out of school. I had enough, plus Cleveland Public School, man, come on. We had valedictorian and all that. I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
Yeah, I was at the graduation just sitting there. We had 695 people in my graduating class.
Wow.
I graduated 690.
695, that's a huge school for back then.
No, it was 3,000 people at our high school. We was #1 track team in the state every year I was there. And Teddy Ginn just won the first state football championship for East Senate School in the history. That Glenville boy, special place. I went to school with Teddy Ginn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a special place, man.
I heard you said that when you did construction, you realized like you were standing on that bridge with that hot tar mop in your hand, this ish ain't for me. Is that, and I tell kids the exact same thing what you said, have a lot of jobs as a kid because it'll let you know what you don't want to do as an adult. Because if you're a kid with all that energy and you don't want to
this motherfucker's a TI user.
Do that, when you get an adult as you get older, you don't want no parts of that.
Hey man, it was crystal clear to me. Mm-hmm. I said, man, I'm not the laborer dude. Now my father made us no hard work. I've been working on farms since I was a kid.
Right.
I was plowing behind a mule when I was 11.
Okay.
By myself.
Wow.
Handling a till plow with that little iron blade.
I know exactly what it is.
G-haul, I'm working.
Yeah.
So I always knew what hard work was, but that thing I had wrote on the paper when I was 10, that never left my mind.
Right.
That I want to be on TV. I kept, like I watched everybody that was on
never left his mind.
TV. Bill Cosby was the greatest influence because he was on I Spy. And
early 60s.
In 66.
Yeah.
So when he came on TV, he was the first black person that had a speaking role. So I'm looking at this dude, he talking to white folks and telling them what to do.
Right.
And then Muhammad Ali was out here.
Right, okay.
Saying, I am the greatest.
Right.
So I had worked, we had the same birthday, man. Right. So I adopted Muhammad Ali as my mentor.
Right.
In my head. And when I met him for the first time, I cried for 30 minutes, non-stop. I got the 2 pictures of my heroes. I met Richard Pryor. I got the picture the day I met Richard Pryor, and I had a photo the day I met Muhammad Ali. And I'm in tears in both them photos, because they meant that much to me. That Muhammad Ali talking to white people the way he was talking to them, calling rounds, I am the greatest. The thing he said that stuck with me the most was, he said, I said I was the greatest before I was the greatest.
Wow.
And that etched in my brain. So that's what taught me to manifest things before it happens. I would say.
Transformation, we got somebody who's strong in NI. Come on. Come on, come on, come on.
All the time. And so those were the 2 greatest influences in my life, man, that pushed me to want to follow that dream and pursue it, you know.
Pursuing his dream, his future, his destiny. That's all NI. We got somebody who's strong in NI.
You didn't know what you wanted to be on television. You just wanted to be on TV.
I had no idea. Okay. I didn't even think it was comedy. I knew I was quick-witted as a child because my mama used to take me to church on Friday nights to get me prayed for. because there's something wrong with this boy. Because this boy just say whatever on his mind.
Right.
I couldn't cut it off, Shannon.
Right.
If you said something to me, I said something back.
Right.
And what I had to say was
If this and that, TI statement.
pretty sharp.
Right.
And I got a lot of ass whoopings for that. I got put in the principal's office for that a lot of times. I just couldn't cut it off. My mama thought something was wrong with me. I didn't know that was my gift.
Right.
But I didn't know how to harness it. I didn't know how to work it,
Right.
man. And I was just firing it off. It took me until I went to Kent State and a girl named Ida Washington, who married one of my best friends named Wayne Knowles. When I was a freshman, she was a sophomore. She sat me down. She said, Steve, can I talk to you? I said, yeah. She said, why did you come to college?
Would you say good question?
Yeah. I don't know. It's free. She said, you don't belong here.
Why'd you come to college? It's free. That's interest. Okay, we already know he's interest based. Okay, so we're down to 2 types here. Okay, ENTJ is gone. He's interest. He said one systematic statement in like 30 fucking minutes. Okay, so we're going in with interest. Interest or motive. So he's looking at what he gets out of a situation. He's not talking about methods, systems, applying, anything like that. Okay, so it's ESTP or ENFJ. We're down to those 2 types. We're going to see if he's abstract versus concrete. I know Steve Harvey's abstract, so obviously they're outcome focused. These 2 types, outcome focused. So outcome people look at the end product, as Gresham talks about how to get there. They're about the journey of things and not the end product of things. Okay, Steve Harvey's outcome focused, so he's also a TIFE user. Okay, we know this. He's saying a lot of if this and that statements. He's TIFE. So we're down to these 2 types, ESTP or ENFJ. And let's see if he is abstract. And let's go ahead and call it a day.
You wasting your time. She said, you don't even belong here. She said, you don't know it, but you're going to be a star one day. Wow. And I went, what? She was the first person that ever told me that. I was a freshman sitting there going, that sounds good. I want that, but I have no concept of how to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And then, as a freshman, I heard Richard Pryor album. I was listening to Want It. And then I went and got everything Cosby did, everything Pryor did. And then in 1976, Pryor came out with Bicentennial Nigga. And that album, I memorized everything. Everything.
Every joke he said on the album.
Everything. So when the dudes was in the room getting high, I'd get a chair, stand up in the chair, do Pryor, do Cosby. I'd do stuff I had written. But I still didn't know it was comedy at that time.
So when did you start writing jokes? Okay, you fell in love with Pryor, you fell in love with Cosby, you know what they did. So when did you start writing jokes and started morphing and moving in that direction?
Well, it was by accident really because a comedian named A.J. Jamal was a friend of mine. And he worked at IBM and I worked at General Electric. And he was doing comedy, but I didn't know what that was.
People are doing all the time.
And he would come to me and say, hey man, I wrote this joke, what you think? Because he knew I was funny.
Right.
And so I would correct it. I would say, no man, say this, this, and this.
Right.
And he would give me $10 every time I gave him a joke. So I'd make an extra
motherfucking interest, boy. God damn, boy.
$40 a week.
Right.
You know, I'm going like, it's 1980, man. That's cool. I didn't know what he was doing with the joke.
Right.
I'd never heard of a comedy club before.
Right.
I'd never heard of how I could be a professional comedian. And then one day I was over his house turning these jokes in. And
so like when we're looking at Steve Harvey here, you know, we're down to 2 types here. We're down to ESTP and ENFJ, okay? One has TI inferior, the other one has NI inferior, okay? And Steve Harvey doesn't seem to have NI inferior, but let's keep going.
This girl named Gladys Jacobs was there.
You see how
and
he
said,
always, whenever he recants memories, he always goes back to like other people and not himself. That's all fucking SE.
You the dude that's writing these jokes for Jamal? And I went, yeah. She said, he the funniest comedian at the comedy club. I said, really?
With your jokes?
Yeah. I mean, he wrote his own,
Right.
but I wrote some.
You helped.
And I was going, what? What you talking about? She said, at the comedy club, he the funniest one. I said, what are you talking about, comedy club? She said, you ain't never been to no comedy club? I said, no. She said, why you writing them jokes for him? Why don't you do them yourself? Now I'm 26, about to be 27.
Okay.
I got 2 kids, twins. I'm struggling. I'm lost. I still don't know what I want to do. But that I want to be on TV was just in the back of my head, you dig? So she said, I'm going to pick you up Tuesday night and I'm going to take you to this place called Hilarity's Comedy Club. And I want you to see what they do. So I went down there, she picked me up, we rode 40 minutes down to Hilarity's.
Is it in Cleveland? Where is this now?
It's in Akron, Ohio.
Akron, Ohio.
Cuyahoga Falls,
Okay.
Ohio.
Okay.
Right between Cleveland and Akron.
Gotcha.
Now, that's down there right by Kent State, too.
Okay, yeah.
I go in, and she say, sign up for next week. So I sign up. I don't even know what I'm doing. And I'm sitting down there, and I'm watching these comedians go up. And it's 10 of them. It's amateur night.
Right.
And I'm not laughing. She said, why you not laughing? Because I'm rewriting all these jokes.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not, I'm sitting there going, man, he should have said this. He should have said that. And finally got to number 10, and they call this guy's name, and he ain't there. And they call his name again, and he ain't there. And they said, well, he's not here. We're going to go to next week's list. Give it up for Steve Harvey. Now I'm eating a chicken wing, and I hear her say, give it up for Steve Harvey. I turn to her and say, it's a dude in here got the same name I got. She said, you a stupid son of a bitch. She was a hood chick. She looked at me, she said, you a stupid son of a bitch. She looked at me so disgusted. You just a stupid son of a bitch. And I guess I was. She said, that's you. And they kept clapping. He said, where's Steve? And she said, here he is.
Uh-oh.
He said, Steve, come on up. I just ran up on stage, man. And I was just standing there. This room full of all whites.
Uh-oh.
And I said, hey, y'all, listen here. I ain't even supposed to be here. I'm on next week's show. And they started laughing. You know, white people laugh different.
Yeah.
You'd have said that in front of black people.
Well,
why is your ass here?
Yeah, exactly. Why are you up there?
Immediately. But white people thought it was the joke.
Right.
And then I was lost, man. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
She said, tell them about when you was boxing. She just hollered out. So I was telling her on the way down about this dude named Bernard Taylor that I had fought at Golden Glove. And it was a big dude, and it was a whole joke about how he had punched me one time. And he didn't have nothing but a left hook. He didn't have nothing but a left hook to the kidney.
Right.
That's all he had.
Right.
You could whoop his ass the rest of the fight, but if he got that left hook in, he was gonna crumble your ass.
Right.
And he got it in. And I imitated how he got in the ring because he was pigeon-toed. These white folks was dying laughing. So they got a laugh, and then I said, well, man, I got a laugh. Let me keep telling jokes. So I wrote another joke for Jamal that I hadn't sold him yet.
Right.
And back then, I can't do this joke now, but it was a joke. This was 85.
Right.
It's a joke about AIDS.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Which was perfectly acceptable back then. Nobody knew the horror of it. It hadn't quite. Okay. So I did this joke.
He's talking about being acceptable and stuff like that. That's gonna be affiliative. Okay.
They was dying laughing. Horrible joke. Completely horrible.
Right.
Distasteful, everything. Knowing what you know today.
Right.
But then died laughing. I walk off stage, they bring all 10 of us back up. They have a clap off. I win the clap off. I win $50.
You hooked.
An agent came up to me and said, man, how long you been doing this? You've been at this about 3 years, huh? I said, yeah. Say, I looked right at him and lied. I ain't had no problem. I got the $50. I'm driving home 40 minutes. I'm crying the entire ride home.
Right.
Gladys looking at me, she said, what you crying for? It ain't but $50.
Right.
I said, you don't understand.
Right.
I went to work the next day and quit my job with $50.
So that was the moment that you said, okay,
my future's
this is what I want to do with my life.
I ain't got nothing else. This was the brightest light bulb ever came on for me. That light bulb had never switched on better for me at nothing. Lincoln Electric, General Electric, carpet cleaning, rib joint, Amway products, Shackley products, Dick Gregory Bohemian Dye, A.L. Williams Insurance, Commonwealth Insurance. I had all these jobs.
Right.
The light bulb went off. I was born that night. And I went to work the next day and quit my job. Came home and told my mama I quit my job. She tried to talk me back into it, told my brothers. They said, man, you crazy. Created a lot of problems with my ex-wife. That wasn't her fault, man, that was me. I shouldn't have been nobody's husband at 24. I made a lot of mistakes, right? But I told my father, and my father again said, well, boy, if you think you can make it, go ahead. And so that was it.
All right. We're just gonna play this real quick.
There's not even a remote possibility. If you quit, there is no chance of it popping back up again, coming back later. Quitting is guaranteed failure. That's the devil's only job. If he can get you to give up,
if he can do this, then that, T.I.
you have been robbed of your destiny. Okay. As you have aspirations, you got to understand that the devil understands your aspirations too. The devil's job is to rob you of your destiny. So there will always be an obstacle. So if you're waiting on the right time, you'll never make the move. You have to go. If he can get you to become a criminal, he robs
that's T.I.
you of your destiny. If he gets you to never follow your dream, chase your dream, he robs you of your destiny. If he causes you to think that this is all my life is, he has caused you to rob you of your destiny. This is yours. You're the captain, you're the master, you're the foreman, you're the general, you're the head. Don't give control of this to nobody, especially the devil. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is what goes on in between here. That's it. They're not smarter than you. God don't love them more than he loved you. It's just that they thought themselves into a different position. And that's all you have.
Thought themselves into a different position.
You have to master this. When you have thoughts that are negative, that's not God. That's Satan. He's doing everything he can to keep you from being who God made you to be. You got to get focused, man. Do not let Satan come in here and function and operate, because he has one mission: to keep you off course, to make you not think it's possible.
Talking about possibilities here.
That's his only job. So he has a lot of people that work for him full time. They're called haters. I have lots of haters. They on the internet all the time. But who are they though? They don't even know me. People who are haters on the internet, I call them thumb gangsters. They just typing shit. Their little punk got a private page. They saying about, they don't even know me. So I don't give them no energy. I give haters no energy. Who are haters? Haters are not shakers and movers. They're not power brokers, and they're not decision makers. The only way a hater has power over you is if you give it to them. That's the only way. Martin Luther King said once, a man can't ride your back unless you bend over. I don't bend over. As long as you don't be what God made you to be. That's the devil's only mission. So he's gonna throw opposition in it. And along the way, I don't care who you are, whatever you pursue, you're gonna have opposition. But your goals and dreams have to be bigger than your problems. And I always just kept big aspirations and dreams. And then when I ran into problems, and I ran into some big ones. You know how you old people say, I ain't got no problem bigger than my God? Well, I didn't. God is always coming. Here's the deal. The moment you ask God for something, he boxes it up and he ships it to you. Here's the problem with the package. He never gives you the date that it's going to arrive. It's going to come, he just don't tell you when. If he told you when, it would destroy the relationship that's required.
If he did this, then that, T.I. again.
To have an abundant life, which is faith. And even though it was times I felt like giving up, I still just, somehow, man, I remember all the scriptures my mother used to teach me when I was a little boy. They used to come tumbling back in my head. I was homeless, living in a car for 3 years. I just kept the faith. What most people do is to give up before God give you the gift. See, when you ask God for something, he boxes it up and he ships it immediately. But you have to remain on Faith Street in order to receive the gift. The problem is when God boxes up the gift and he ship it to you, he never gives you the date that the package is going to arrive. Somebody's...
All right, Steve Harvey. We're done here. This guy's abstract, okay? With that being said, that makes him an ENFJ. Steve Harvey is an ENFJ. And with that being said, he's most likely Enneagram 2. W 3, and Sun more like a social one. Social. Okay. But that's what we got for Steve Harvey here. We got him as an ENFJ. He's all over the news right now, so we're going to get him. We'll probably get his wife soon as well. She seems like a fucking entj, but hey. We'll keep going, guys. Sorry we haven't been doing celebrity typings lately, but we'll get more into that. We got to finish our next 4 cognitive functions, and then we want to start breaking down these actual metrics in video form so that everybody can be on the same page. But this Mongolian Mindset, comment below what you thought Steve Harvey's type was. Personality database got it fucking wrong. They got him as an ISFJ. That's fucking wrong. He's an ENFJ. He's direct as fuck. So let's get out of here. We're done.